And that's just good old-fashioned storytelling, and that's the fun part.
Welcome back to Director's Choice. In today's video, we're going to talk about the top 10 Ryan Reynolds movies. Ryan Reynolds is one of the many great actors Hollywood has produced, and he has played many characters in many different films. To rate his films would be a great injustice, but here are the top 10 films that we think Ryan Reynolds did an amazing job. Number 10. Safe House. In this film, Ryan Reynolds plays the role of Matt Weston, a junior CIA agent. As the protagonist, he's looking for an opportunity to showcase his skills as a global spy. Reynolds' character, Matt Weston, is bored with his position at the CIA, where he spends his days making repetitive phone calls and complaining about his bad luck. And this puts him in a perpetual sour mood. Weston also is infuriated with his French sweetheart, Anna Moreau, who doesn't know about his double life as a CIA agent. When the former Maverick CIA operative Tobin Frost, played by Denzel Washington, surrenders to the American consulate to escape from a dangerous group of soldiers, he's brought to the safe house. While at the safe house, he is interrogated by veteran Daniel Kiefer and his team. Mercenaries breach the house's security, hoping to catch Frost.
Rule number one, you are responsible for your house guest. I'm your house guest.
Weston manages to escape to safety with Frost and contacts CIA Senior Administrator Harlan Whitford and Catherine Linklater, who offer to guide Weston to the location of another safe house. However, Frost warns Weston that there is a mole in the CIA and no one can be trusted. Number 9. Life. Ryan Reynolds portrays the character of Rory Adams, the crew's mission specialist, providing some comic relief in an otherwise serious film. A global collective of researchers aboard the International Space Station to retrieve a probe from Mars containing the first samples of extraterrestrial life.
We don't know what it is.
If this ever gets back to Earth, we'll risk all human life.
In the opening scene, Adams grabs a hold of the rover and the samples it contains before it passes the ship, saving the entire mission. The sample he saves end up containing the extraterrestrial microorganism. The dormant microorganism is studied by one of the researchers and named Calvin by American schoolchildren. Researchers aboard the space station manage to bring the organism back to life by shocking it, and at which point it becomes aggressive and starts to attack the crew before escaping into the space station. Around 20 minutes into the film, the microorganism kills Adams in a gruesome manner. Adams' grisly death is long, violent, and difficult to watch. Researchers aboard the space station are caught in a deadly race to keep themselves alive while being hunted, but soon learn that Calvin would also do anything to survive.
Guys, we are running out of time.
Number 8. Definitely Maybe. Ryan Reynolds plays the role of Will Hayes, a 38-year-old man coping with a difficult divorce and navigating a relationship with his 10-year-old daughter. Hayes is an aspiring politician and the former coffee and bagel guy on the Clinton '92 campaign. He worked his way up in the world of politics and started his own campaign management consulting firm after he was betrayed by his best friend. Hayes' story starts in 1992 as a hopeful but naive government official who moved to New York from Wisconsin to work on the Clinton campaign. For the sake of his daughter, Maya, Hayes recalls his past as a young optimist, learning the intricate details of governmental issues, all the while describing the historical backdrop of his past relationships with his 3 different women. Hayes tries to desperately render a PG adaptation of his story for his daughter and changes the names of the women, leaving Maya to try and discover which one her dad finally married. Is Maya's mom Will's college sweetheart, Emily, the reliable young lady nearby?
You have to give us a summer.
Summer Hartley?
Could unopinionated April, his long-term closest companion, be her mother?
Poor April, who's always been the friend. Then she realized she wants to be the girlfriend.
Or could it be Summer, the free-spirited and vivacious, but also driven columnist?
Oh, that part.
You're a great writer.
As Maya endeavors to solve her father's sentimental riddle, she begins to comprehend that affection isn't so basic or simple. As Hayes reveals more of his story, Maya forces Hayes to realize that it's never too late to rekindle an old love.
Well, I think I discovered who my mom is in the story.
Really?
Really?
Number 7. Mississippi Grind. Curtis played Ryan Reynolds as the appearance of an irresponsible but charismatic flake.
Looks like heaven. How's everybody feeling tonight?
The kind of man who would be thought of as a star within his own little community. He knows when to quit drinking and quit playing, when not to sleep with one of the many women who find him attractive. He is more or less as he presents himself. He seems to know himself, and he's a very good decision maker. Curtis is a career best performance by Reynolds, a smart, self-aware leading man who's gotten sidetracked into a rather thin romantic comedy and action hero roles.
He likes watching and being around disaster.
Curtis meets up with Jerry, who is a talented poker player, but his gambling habit is getting the best of him.
It's a buddy movie about a couple of degenerate gamblers that hit the road, playing every game they can.
Considering Curtis's lucky charm, Jerry persuades him that they should take off together.
I don't deserve you, but you appeared like a leprechaun.
As they gamble their way down south toward an unbelievable high-stakes poker game in New Orleans, the excursion's highs and lows uncover the pair's actual character and inspiration, and an unquestionable bond frames between them. Number 6. Just Friends. Ryan plays the role of Chris Brander, who undertakes a major character transformation. While in high school, Brander was a stereotypical fat guy bullied by most of his fellow classmates. Brander has a secret crush on his friend Jamie Palomino. Brander finally works up the courage to express his true feelings for Jamie, but she rejects him by saying that they are just friends.
We're friends, right?
After this traumatic experience, Brander leaves everything in his past behind and moves to Los Angeles. There, he becomes an attractive music supervisor who is in high demand professionally and personally.
Music producer Chris Brander has it all.
I saw you flirting with me out there. How could you do that to your boyfriend?
We're just friends.
While flying to Paris with his client and singing sensation, Samantha James, his plane catches fire and they're forced to land in Brander's old hometown. Brander once again encounters Jamie Palomino, and this time hopes to become more than just friends. Number 5. Buried. Ryan Reynolds plays Paul Conroy, a truck driver working in Iraq for the contractor Creston Rowland and Thompson, CRT. While following up the rear in a convoy of trucks, the convoy is attacked by terrorists. When Conroy wakes up, he finds himself in a tight space. Reaching around in the space, he finds a lighter and a phone with 60% battery life. The phone was left there intentionally for Conroy to contact his people to obtain the $5 million demanded by the kidnappers by 2100 hours, which is only a few hours away. Conroy uses the phone to contact everyone he knows, including his wife and the US Department, which is not as easy to contact as it seems. Over time, he finds other items in the coffin, again placed there purposefully by his captors, in order to perform additional tasks. Conroy attempts to make it out alive with a phone that's running out of battery, a shrinking air supply, and kidnappers on the other end of the phone that left him to die. Number 4. The Amityville Horror. Reynolds plays the character George Lutz. This film has been remade a lot of times because it's based on an actual true story, but Ryan Reynolds' version is rated to be the best of them all. Reynolds plays the role of a father who has insisted on shifting to a house where a family was murdered exactly 1 year before they moved in. According to him, houses don't kill, people do. George and Kathy Lutz, alongside their 3 youngsters, move into an elegant Long Island home. What they can be sure of is that the house was the site of a terrible mass homicide a year prior. They choose to keep the house and endeavor to keep the terrible things that happened in the home in the past.
To a perfect house and to a perfect family.
However, they are currently scared by a deadly presence. This is until George begins to behave strangely, and their daughter Chelsea begins to see figures in the house. What follows is 28 days of sheer uncontrolled fear for the family, filled with murderous dreams of the dead. In view of the genuine story of George and Kathy Lutz, the Amityville Horror stays one of the most sickening frequented house stories in history, in light of the fact that it really occurred. Number 3. The Hitman's Bodyguard. Reynolds plays the role of Michael Bryce, an elite bodyguard.
This is Michael Bryce. I'm an executive protection agent. I've extracted my client.
Bryce lives a stylish life in UK until his client Takashi Kurosawa is assassinated on his watch. With his reputation destroyed after the horrendously inefficient transfer of a recognized Japanese client, Bryce is decreased to an inferior agent for hire. 2 years after the scandalous event, Bryce hopes to demonstrate his value when he accepts a proposal from Interpol to escort professional killer Darius Kincaid from Manchester to The Hague. The errand appears to be straightforward, but despite appearances, the journey to the Netherlands is long and unsafe. Kincaid turns out to be the only man with the gumption and facts to testify against a tyrannical Belarusian dictator, putting him in grave danger. It's a race against time to set aside their differences and survive the treacherous journey. Number 2. Deadpool. Reynolds plays the role of Wade Wilson, also known as the famous comic book character Deadpool.
Oh, hello.
Wilson is a man with profoundly distorted, unhinged, and often deadpan comical tendencies. Likely, Wilson's most eminent attributes are his constantly running mouth regardless of the circumstance, and his adoration of mainstream society from all time frames. For example, referencing Mama June or having an Adventure Time wristwatch. Wilson is diagnosed with a terminal malignant growth around the same time his girlfriend accepts his proposal to be engaged. Wilson is allured in by an obscure association offering to fix his disease. Wilson accepts the offer, meets an insane person, Ajax, really Francis Freeman, who infuses Wilson with a bizarre serum to fix his condition. Francis, alongside his associate Angel Dust, continue to subject Wilson to excruciating torment, leaving him with terrible scars on his body and accelerated healing capabilities. In any case, Wilson is pissed and needs his face back to normal.
Whatever they did to me made my body indestructible. But my face...
Now, look at me.
No, look at it.
No, I don't want to. Exactly.
Equipped with 2 katanas, pistols, and a red suit and a mask, Wilson becomes Deadpool and makes his strategic chase to take Francis down and get his revenge. Number 1. Deadpool 2. After working as Deadpool for 2 years, Wade Wilson neglects to kill one of his targets and instead celebrates his anniversary with Vanessa, his girlfriend. That night, after the pair choose to start a family together, the target tracks Wilson down and murders Vanessa. Wilson kills the man in revenge. He blames himself for her passing and attempts suicide after a month and a half by blowing himself up.
That's just lazy writing.
Wilson dreams of Vanessa existing in the afterlife, but before long, the bits of his body are assembled by Colossus and Wilson is reanimated. Wilson is left with just a skee-ball token, an anniversary gift, his last gift from Vanessa. Recovering at the X-Men mansion, Wilson hesitantly agrees to join the X-Men as a type of restoration. Deadpool, Colossus, and Negasonic, Teenage Warhead, struggle to get along while trying to thwart the plans of the unsteady youthful freak, Russell Collins, also known as Fire Fist at an orphanage named Freak Re-Education Center.
I can't do this alone. We're gonna form a super-duper fucking group.
Known as X-Force.
Isn't that a little derivative?
You're absolutely right.
Are there any other Ryan Reynolds movies you think should have made the list? Comment down below. Take a look at this other recent clip by Director's Choice, and make sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified of our latest videos. Thank you for watching.